Hello YouTube, Nate here. That was a very depressing intro, but it is a very depressing day. For those of you who don't know, Microsoft just recently released, today, the Xbox Kinect. Now, I had faith in Microsoft. I did. I saw Sony make the big mistake with the PlayStation Move. And I thought Microsoft would never stoop that low. And then it happened. Alright, let's get serious here. This video isn't me moping and complaining about how video games are ending forever. It's the end of hardcore gaming, because it's not the case. This video is simply me ranting about why Microsoft is making a bad decision. And here's why. Nintendo released the Wii, and that's what sparked all of this casual gamer peripherals, and we all know that. But the thing is, Nintendo, it works for them. Nintendo's always had this simplicity factor. When the Nintendo 64 came out, it was against the PlayStation. The PlayStation had discs, but a lot of people still liked Nintendo because Nintendo had the games that they have been playing for years. And it's just as simple as that. Gamers like to go to Nintendo because they have games that they remember. With the new Nintendo DS, it's going to have the games that they love now in 3D on, the DS, and that's going to be cool. Gamers respect Nintendo for that. And Nintendo started targeting a new audience, but it's kind of the same audience they've been targeting for years. When the NES came out, it was a family gaming system. And the Wii is still a family gaming system. It's just casual, laid back, but hardcore gamers have been playing these games for years that they still go to the Wii. So it works. But then PlayStation was like, let's make the move. But I didn't really care about PlayStation making the move because I never really liked PlayStation. I've always been an Xbox guy because when the Xbox came out, they were like, boom, Master Chief, Xbox Live, let's do this thing. And it worked for them. People loved Xbox Live. They're like, whoa, internet gaming on a console? I'm game. No pun intended. But the PlayStation, they tried to get the whole internet thing too, and I don't want a whole console war going here saying, oh, the PlayStation Network is free, it's so much better than Xbox Live, etc. That's not what this video is about. It's just the Xbox Live was really what I see started the whole console internet movement. Before that, people were playing games on their PCs online, and Microsoft was like, hey, we could do that, and they did. So yeah, it worked for Microsoft, and obviously Halo was their game. It was what encompassed Xbox, and it was great. And the Xbox 360 came out, and you got Gears of War, all of this crazy stuff, and we're like, whoa, this is awesome. So I had faith in Microsoft because I thought it was a new direction, kind of, for me. I've always liked Nintendo. I religiously stuck with them. But then I got an Xbox, and that was kind of weird for me. I still had my GameCube at the time, but I found myself playing my Xbox more and more. And my brother had a PlayStation 2, and I did play that before that, but something about the Xbox just worked for me. And PlayStation kind of got lucky in a lot of sense when it came to the console war, because when they released discs, they got a bunch of games that other companies didn't want to make for Nintendo, so a lot of companies were sticking with Sony. So the whole PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube war, I think PlayStation got lucky because they had all of these games that they got from PlayStation now, that hardcore gamers were like, ooh, PlayStation. So that's why the PlayStation 2 was one of the top selling consoles of all time. Not to mention that it worked as a DVD player. A lot of people bought that solely for the DVD player, just to be able to play games along with it. So the PlayStation kind of got lucky, I believe. It didn't really deserve to be the best console in a lot of sense, but it just kind of ended up that way. And now we're seeing that the Wii is selling like crazy compared to the other consoles. And that's just weird. But the Wii, like I said, is a casual gaming system, and it works for families. A lot of kids want to play video games, so when families look, they got the PlayStation, which is like this graphic machine that will play Blu-rays, and they're like, that's expensive. They look at the Xbox, they're like, whoa, Halo's bloody. They're like, oh, look at this little white machine where I can play Mario with my kids, and I used to play Mario when I was a kid. Of course they're going to get the Wii. And like I said, it works for Nintendo. They've had these games since the 80s that people are like, oh, a new version of Zelda? Gotta get the Wii. And it works for them. And the thing with the Wii is, they have motion controls, and that's it. They don't have a regular controller. It's the whole console. And PlayStation was like, let's make our own motion controller with better graphics. But at that point, it's like, you're just trying too hard. And then we got Microsoft. I didn't want them to get into this battle, but they did. They released the Kinect. Essentially, a PlayStation Eye toy that watches you. We got the Kinect on one side, we got the Wii on one side, and the PlayStation Move is like a hybrid of the two. So now Microsoft's all like, you don't even need a controller. You just got your body. Now before I get too caught up just ranting, let's take a step back here and look at why this is a bad decision for Microsoft. Now I got a list here, and this pretty much alone is the reason why Microsoft is making a bad decision. Now Sony is kind of making the dumb decision too, but Microsoft is the company that I think is going to be most hurt by doing this. And that's because of the $150 price tag. $150. But before we get to that, let's go back even farther and take a look through history and why history is going to repeat itself. The Sega 32X, the Sega CD, the Nintendo the Nintendo 64 Double D, which was only released in Japan, and the Atari Jaguar CD. Now, the Atari Jaguar was a fail by itself, but all of those were just add-ons to consoles that costed a lot of money that people never bought because they just weren't worth it. You don't want to pay a bunch of money just to get a little bit more out of a console. People would rather A, wait a few years until the next console comes out and get that one, or B, in Microsoft's case, when you could spend $150 to get a camera to put on top of your TV for your Xbox, you could spend $50 more and get the Wii, which has been doing this for years, has the formula down, has games for hardcore gamers that they've been playing for years, like I've said, and casual games for the new Nintendo Wiiers, as we'll call them, which are just people who play party games going like this. Okay, so where was I going with this? Peripheral costs so much money that people either, if they want that peripheral, probably already have a Wii or might as well just get the Wii. The $150 just isn't doing it. But Nate, that $150 includes a game. False. That $150 includes a demo of sorts. It's not even a game. Phone call. So let's just kind of slow down here. Really, Microsoft's decision to release the Kinect is expected. Companies in the gaming world are just copying the Nintendo Wii now, and it's because Nintendo is making the money, and it's not a surprise that Microsoft is trying to release their version, which they consider the best. I'm just afraid that it's probably not going to sell very well. I mean, it works. I've seen footage of it. I've witnessed it at the mall once. I saw people playing it. I never actually got to play it, and it did look fun. I'll give it that. But playing at the mall for free is totally different than spending $150 for games that are probably just going to be exactly like the Wii. I don't know about other people. I'm still okay with having controllers in my hands versus no controllers and just a camera. And like I said, it's just party games. Who knows? Maybe some sweet game will be released that is geared towards hardcore gamers and will actually be fun and not just repetitive motion for parties. But at this point, there's just not enough games that probably aren't going to be games released that are worth it. It's expensive. It's just not going to be very good, if you ask me. Yeah, that's what all I have to say. Like I said, I'm not trying to sound whiny. I'm not trying to get in a console war here. I do have respect for all consoles. They do each have their own thing that makes them a little bit better in aspects, and I personally have always liked my Xbox the best. I do have a Wii. I do not have a PlayStation 3. There are reasons for that. I don't have an HD TV. I don't see the point if you don't have an HD TV because I think Blu-ray is really their thing. And the Xbox works for me, like I said. But I just feel bad for Microsoft because they just released this thing. They're probably all excited, and it's probably not going to do very well. But, I've been wrong in the past. I thought the iPad was going to do terrible, and it's been doing pretty good, and I actually want one. So, Who knows? Maybe the Kinect will drop in price. It probably will eventually, but for now, it's just not very good. So, yeah, about all I can do, and I know a lot of you are going to recommend that I do this and say stop whining, so you don't even have to say it. I'll say it to myself. Nate, you just need to shut up and realize that it doesn't affect you. Just keep playing the games that you play and you'll be fine. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep playing the games that I like, and I'm not going to get a Kinect, and I'll be fine. But I just wanted to stress that I think Microsoft is making a bad decision. So, that about sums up my rant. Probably missed some points that I wanted to make, and just repeated a lot of the same points, but, whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. Adios.